I have a condition called ME/CFS. That's why I haven't been making music lately. Um, it's better known as chronic fatigue syndrome, but I don't like that name because it doesn't fully grasp the severity of this illness. Like this is a very intense disease, not just like a little syndrome. Um, you're not a little tired. You are incapable of being a member of society. And when I was really bad, when I first got sick, I was 18 years old. I had went off to college for the first time, and I went off to Seattle, 3.5 hours from my house, and within 2 weeks, I had to drop out and fly back home. And that was a really embarrassing, traumatic experience because I didn't know what was wrong with me, and I was like severely ill. Like I felt like I was dying. I couldn't stand to be in light. I couldn't climb stairs. I, I would I wasn't sleeping, and when I got home, I was so severe that I was totally bedridden. I couldn't go on my phone. I couldn't read. I couldn't watch TV. I couldn't listen to music. I couldn't hold a conversation for more than 5 minutes. It was just me lying in a totally blacked out, darkened room 24/7. And that was my life for like a good 6 months of being totally bedridden. And some people are in that condition for years. I got bounced around from doctor to doctor with all these referrals, the immune specialists and virologists, neurologists, rheumatologists, psychiatrists. And each of these appointments were really hard to go to because at this point in time, like I need dark sunglasses and sleep masks and big old earmuffs and earplugs and a cane, a wheelchair because like I'm severely ill. So every time I exert myself by going to these appointments, I make myself even worse. And I'm not sleeping much. I have so many symptoms. It's really scary. But, anyways, that was my severe part. That was 8 years ago. And I've slowly gotten better over the years, but it is still incredibly debilitating. And I think the worst part of it is it's incredibly lonely because you're not a member of society. You're kind of trapped in your house most of the time and you're lying in bed a lot. And that's why I can't play guitar for very long. Crashing is when you exert more energy than you have, and then you get really sick afterwards. And it's this invisible line that you're always sort of pushing and teetering on because you want to do as much as possible, but you don't want to crash yourself. And you don't really know when you've gone too far until it's too late. So you always are kind of looking for this invisible cliff edge that you can fall off of at any point. And yeah, it's like walking through the fog or something. There's this constant brain fog in my head, a lack of cognitive abilities. I can't work. I can't go to school. I never got to go to college properly. I do it now all online. I take like one or two classes at a time over the internet. And it's just, you don't have um, that socialization that is so important for humans because we're tribal creatures. We need to be around other people. And you feel like this zoo animal who's just trapped inside a cage watching the world go by. Um, you feel like the other. You feel invisible a lot of the time. You feel invisible to doctors. You try to talk about your illness and nobody gives a fuck. And even if they pretend, like they don't understand it. I can explain it again and again and again and try to get it through their thick fucking skulls, but they cannot understand it, and it's not their fault. It is their fault that they don't make more of an effort, but it's not their fault that they can't understand it because I remember what it was like to not be sick. The first 18 years of my life, I wasn't sick. And when I was not sick, I would not have been able to understand it. The only way to understand it is to truly have it. But You gotta try, people. You gotta make an effort because we are suffering. Um, it's rough out here. I can't go to bars because I get overwhelmed and I can't drink and I don't smoke and I don't take drugs because I don't eat junk food because, like, anything bad for your body just makes you feel even worse, like really bad, really fast. All it takes is a couple drinks. Um, I used to have sex, but my girlfriend broke up with me. I don't think it was because of Miami. I think it was something unrelated, but it still sucks because we were together for 2 years and I loved her very much. And having somebody there for you, like having a partner or a really close friend or something, it really does a lot for your mental health and dealing with this illness and just for your mood and stability. And when they leave, it hurts like hell and it really messes up your mental health and it makes it hard to function when you're just all alone dealing with this stuff with no support system, with no friends, no girlfriend. Um, I tried to meet people like on Tinder, and it's really hard to like explain to practical strangers your situation. Yeah, it's just really traumatizing. And you go through life every day not knowing what your purpose is or why you're here and feeling so alone and unable to partake in your hobbies and passions to the full extent that you want to. Like, I wish I could play guitar more. I wish I could play sports. I wish I could cook longer. Um, but just taking a shower is hard. And I'm now mild to moderate, but it's still hard to just take a shower to do the dishes. So, yeah, it's just our lives have been robbed from us, and it sucks. There's not enough people talking about this illness. Like, supposedly, like 800,000 Americans have ME/CFS. Most of them go undiagnosed because they're in a pretty mild form of it, but the numbers aren't adding up. I only see a handful of people talking about this, and supposedly there's hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of us. So I just thought I would share my personal struggles. Um, it comes with a lot of anxiety, sensitivity to light, the noise, to stimulus, um, this constant fight or flight mode. You're just always in this perpetual exhausting state of hyper awareness and like hypersensitivity, and you're never in that rest and digest, peaceful, relaxed state. I take Klonopin for it, but there's no drugs, there's no treatments that are proven to work. Everybody experiments with word of mouth stuff like low-dose naltrexone and D-ribose and Valtrex and antivirals and certain medicinal mushrooms, not psychoactive mushrooms, but like healthy mushrooms. But there's no treatments, there's not enough research. And by the time there's enough funding and research, a lot of us will be dead. Like, people are dying. Yeah, it's a major problem. We need funding, we need attention, we need people to take this illness seriously. And that is my rant for today.